This is Townsquare Sunday. On Saturday, May 4th, an organization called Fellowship Health Resource sponsoring a 4.6-mile walk and run at Fort Tabor Park in New Bedford, South End. The walk is called Walk in My Shoes, and its goal is to raise money to help others improve their behavioral health, really, to help them overcome addiction or mental health issues. I have two guests to talk to about Fellowship Health Resources, and that is Robert Ortiz. He's the Director of Peer Services of Fellowship Health, and Jeffrey Boucher. Boucher, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Boucher, he's in charge of development and events. So we're here to talk about the event, the walk, but also to talk about their organization as well. Robert, Fellowship Health Resources has offices in New Bedford. Let's start out. Where in New Bedford?
Predominantly in the north end and in like the central part of New Bedford. We have a few group homes extending out to the south end, which would be like the Fair Street area.
All right. So you have some group homes in New Bedford.
Correct.
Probably incorrect to say offices. Where is this organization headquartered?
It's in Lincoln, Rhode Island, and we operate in 7 different other states as well.
Stick with you, Robert, for just a moment. In reading material on your website, I get the sense that really the organization has a holistic approach to these very difficult problems of addiction, gambling, mental health. Can you define it? I know that might not be the easiest thing to do sometimes, but can you define the approach?
Sure. Well, we don't believe that there's only one concrete way to assist a person with dealing with a mental health or substance use issue. So our approaches are really trying to encompass every aspect of a person's life to help them structure what works best for them within their own recovery pathway. So some approaches might be clinical, some approaches might be just mutual support from a person who actually has had lived experience with dealing with a mental health or substance use issue.
How many people do you serve in New Bedford?
Whew, boy, that's a big number.
It's it's over 1,000, almost 1,000.
Wow.
Individuals in various different programs.
And is it, you have these group homes which are, I'll call them inpatient. Is there an outpatient operation as well?
Well, the contract that we are working under is called Adult Community Clinical Services. So technically it is all outpatient, also with a little bit of inpatient services, but predominantly outpatient. So we have individuals who go out into the community, into other people's homes, assist them with, like little errands and tasks. But also you have people who work with inside the group home and trying to develop the, adult daily living skills. So.
And there's also, we were talking before we recorded, the clubhouse aspect of it. Tell us about that, Jeffrey.
So a couple of different points. The earlier point about, the houses are in the community. And that's the model, and that's the way that we go about doing our work. Folks are living in the community, and we're connecting with them and providing resources in the community, which is the model we're using. The clubhouse is exactly the same. So it's a vocational-based program where folks voluntarily will come in. They've got some sort of issue, some sort of mental illness or other issues they're dealing with, and they begin to work on almost immediately some sort of vocation. So they're working within the house to pay the bills of the program, to help write grants. I had folks helping me write grants as part of the program. So people bring all kinds of different skills to a community like that, and it makes the community and the program so much better. And along the way, they're picking up new skills to find an independent job and move along their recovery toward independent living is, of course, one of the major goals.
And that's so true. People sometimes think that people with addictions or mental health issues are people that maybe are not able to function in society, and that's not necessarily true. You'll find people with a lot of skills who may have an addiction, whether it's substance abuse or gambling or anything like that. And mental health issues are, that doesn't discriminate either. That hits everybody, doesn't it, Robert?
Correct. Yeah. I don't know what the statistics are averagely throughout the United States, but, within our own household, we probably, I believe 1 out of 5 people have a mental health issue. So if you have a pretty big family, just consider 1 out of however many people are in your family divided by 5 would give you however many people might struggle with a mental health issue. And some cases they're not as grandiose as the people who go and create these, mass murders or these, these really extreme, disastrous events. They're not usually the cause of that. The majority of the people who struggle with significant mental health issues, they're isolated. They're staying home. They're not getting out because of the fear of the stigma, or even the fear of the substance use. So they become almost alienated. Think about your loved one who you're trying to support and work with and get them connected to the right resources, and they're just having that fear because of the community stigma that is put on them.
And programs, for example, the clubhouse programs, Jim, folks are going back to work. They're earning hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're paying their taxes, and they just needed that boost of support. And oftentimes we say at Clubhouse and even in FHR programs, membership is lifetime, right? So you can come back, you can engage at any point, and as you need, and if it's a bump in the road, then we work along that. But folks are going back to work, they're going to school. Robert, is very modest, but is a great example of someone who has a lived experience and has really turned out some
Robert, if you
amazing
don't mind,
work
if you want to share your personal experience, you don't have to get into a great deal of detail, but would you share some of it?
My short version, given the time that we have, wow. I come from a very broken home. Mental health ran undiagnosed within my own family. Suicide has claimed the lives of 4 of my family members because they didn't seek the help nor was the help offered to them at the times of their greatest needs. I enlisted in the military. I actually served in the Air Force for a few months before getting my own diagnosis and returned back out into civilian life. That was back in 2000. Unfortunately, from 2000 to 2006, my life became quite chaotic, a lot of involvement with the criminal justice system, even had contemplated taking my own life at times. But fortunately enough, I met a woman who cared about me sincerely and stuck by me every bit of the way. And even at my worst time, she was able to help pick me up and redirect me to where I needed to go. Right now, currently, I have about 11 years worth of recovery under my belt from both a mental health and a substance use issue. I'm a very productive member of my community. I'm a husband to the woman who supported me throughout my life, as well as the father of 2 boys who I'm also trying to help guide in making the right decisions in life and to let them know that there is help out there when they need it.
And again, kind of modest. He was named the Peer Recovery Worker of the Year nationwide just a short time ago. So, recovery is real. It's amazing to see the folks and the work that they put in and what they're able to do as a result of it.
And FHR is a national organization?
7. We work in 7 different states all over the East Coast. Okay. We work with about 7,500.
We would love to be national.
We're moving in that direction.
There's enough work here in New England.
It's enough work there.
That's right. Sure that,
correct.
I think you'll agree with that.
A lot of work, yes, sir.
You're listening to Townsquare Sunday. My guest is Robert Ortiz of the Fellowship Health Resource and Jeffrey Boucher, Development and Event Coordinator for the same organization. So let's get into the this organization, by the way, is sponsoring Walk in My Shoes. That is Saturday, May 4th at Fort Taber Park in New Bedford. Begins at 11 o'clock, 4.6 miles. You do not have to run. You can walk it or you can run. Either way. Mm-hmm. What, is it 10 now?
Starts at 10.
It's at
the
10.
Event's at 10.
I'm sorry,
10
10
to
o'clock.
11, that's all right.
That's right, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.
With a 9:30 registration.
9:30 registration, 10 o'clock. Let's keep the correct starting time because you may need that time to finish 4.6. But anyway, this is the second annual walk. How successful was year 1, and what are we hoping for this year, Robert?
Well, considering the weather that we had last year where it was rainy and cloudy, we had almost about 100 participants show up. Representative Cabral also made an appearance out there given the weather. Overall, the walk itself was well organized, well attended. It was a real nice avenue for us to learn more about the people who struggle with mental health issues and substance use. The whole title of the event is A Walk in My Shoes. No better way to learn within the community than to walk alongside somebody who's actually lived it, and they can express their concerns and also their recovery pathway as well.
Well, I was going to have you elaborate a little bit on that, Walk in My Shoes. You are trying to say that you are trying to help folks who and trying to learn more about people who have lived with addiction or substance abuse or mental health issues. And that's a never-ending educational experience, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, it's really the goal, particularly of this walk, is awareness, of course. But to, as Robert had said earlier, to get folks out and not isolating, to get folks into and involved in a community is often a great first step into beginning your recovery. So this kind of event, the awareness is fantastic, and the work and thank you again to you all for helping us out and get the word out. This is fantastic. The walk is there's a registration fee of $25 to participate. You can sign up on our website at www.fhr.net. But the walk really was really powerful. The stories. There's a woman who recently sent us information. Her mom had received care from FHR for quite a while for various different issues. She passed away, unfortunately. Her mom passed away. She's now participating in the walk. The daughter is participating in the walk, and she is going. She's raised money for the walk. Just so proud of the work and the support that she's gotten from the FHR team and of course other mental health providers as well, all doing really difficult work, but really rewarding.
And folks are raising money here.
Right.
How will that money be used? Robert?
So in New Bedford, we have a volunteer program of individuals who have lived experience. Right now we have about 9 volunteers who would go out and visit with about 37 to 40 other individuals who are a little more extreme in their circumstance. They're staying home, they don't clean up after themselves, or they just lack a friend. So the idea of the monies that we would generate from this program would help support the volunteers. So what we do is that we generously show our appreciation to each of the volunteers by giving them a gift card. So technically this isn't grant funded, this is really community funded. And these are individuals no different than Jeffrey and myself or anyone that's in this room who take time from their day to go and visit someone who isn't as fortunate as us. And it gives them an opportunity to get out of the home and be in a safe environment with a safe person. So the gift card is really to offset whatever the expenses they may accrue at that given moment.
For that volunteer.
Do you have, is there any government funding involved in FHR?
We've received funds from Medicare, Medicaid, of course, as a provider and support. But a lot of the funds that we raise for these kinds of programs are primarily community-based foundations and other organizations. But this program in particular has really been driven by community support and has been growing, which is great news. So the more we're able to do, the more folks that are able to come out and help us out and support this kind of program allows us to expand and support more people. Like Robert talked about.
All right, so May 4th, Walk in My Shoes, 10 a.m. start time, 9:30 registration. And where can people go again to sign up, Jeff?
So if you go to our website, and I know there's a link on the radio station page and on our webpage, so www.fhr.net. And there's information about Walk in My Shoes, second annual event. We're hoping to grow it and make it bigger and better. And look forward to having folks come out to us in some good weather.
Now, Fort Taber is a beautiful place for a walk, no question about it. You saw that last year, I think. It's also a windy place and sometimes rather cool. So bring a jacket, bring a sweater, unless it's 70, 75 degrees or so. Even then it might be cool. But, it should be a great time for you, for your organization. Hopefully it'll be great weather and you get some people there.
Fantastic.
Robert, any closing thoughts?
I challenge the community to go out and be part of this great event that we're trying to establish within our communities.
Very good. All right, my guests have been Robert Ortiz and Jeffrey Boucher. They're both from the Fellowship Health Resources. Thank you both for coming in, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Jim.
That's it for Townsquare Sunday. I'm Jim Phillips. Have a great week and a wonderful Sunday.